welcome everybody to the 501st Holiday Special Life Day Telethon. We are super excited to be bringing the special guest that we have for you today. We've got some other 501st members here that are going to introduce themselves, and then we will introduce our special guests of the day. And we've got some amazing questions lined up, and we look forward to sharing all this with everybody and raising some money for either your local food bank or the World Central Kitchen through this effort. And so everybody, ladies, let's get started. Just introduce yourselves, give your ID number with the 501st if you'd like.
Hi, this is Lael Holloway. I am a member of all three costuming groups, the 501st, the Mandalorian Mercs, and the Rebel Legion. My CT number is 28996, and my first costume was the Armorer, and my second costume is Bo-Katan.
Awesome.
My name's Naomi Sonfield, and I'm a member of the 501st and Rebel Legion. For 501st, I'm DZ92679, and with the Rebel Legion, I'm also the Armorer.
I'm Felicia Simmons. I am also a three-way member with Kessel Base for the Rebel Legion, Sick Clan, Mandalorian Mercs, and Star Garrison for the 501st. My ID number is 32977, and my first costume was also the Armorer, and my second costume is Iden Versio.
I'm Donna Sanders, South Carolina. Just moved here from Florida a year ago, and I'm also a triple member, Rebel Legion, Mando Mercs, and 501st ID is 6825. I have the Armorer costume and then a bridge crew and Juno Eclipse. Currently working on a Sith sister, possibly. And I met Emily twice already in West Virginia as well, and Columbia, South Carolina last year.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies. And I'm Amy Higgs. I'm actually the detachment leader for the Bounty Hunters Guild, 42297. I don't belong to any other club. I'm pretty busy with the detachment, and we are here today speaking with the Armorer, Emily Swallow, and we are so excited to have her here. I know she's got a super busy schedule, so without further ado, Emily, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Wonderful, and it's so great to see you. And just a moment ago, we got to meet one of your fur babies, so that's wonderful.
Yes. The other fur baby, since all of you are talking about your Armorer costumes, the other fur baby does have an Armorer costume.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go from left to right as to who I'm seeing on my screen here. So Naomi, you're showing up first. You want to ask the first question?
Yes. Thank you, Emily, for joining us. It's been such a pleasure to meet you twice at Rhode Island Comic-Con, and I was in costume at the time. So it was such an honor to meet you. You're so wonderful, and you're such an inspiration, just yourself and as the character. My question for you is, what has been your favorite scene to shoot as the Armorer so far?
Oh my
and
gosh.
why?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one, because I feel like every single scene that I've gotten to do so far that I'm allowed to talk about so far, because we haven't seen season 3 yet, has been the deliciousness of her. Is that even though we haven't gotten to see a whole lot of her in the series, I appreciate that every moment feels like it's been so loaded and so important. People ask me that question a lot, and I don't always have the same answer. I really enjoyed the end of season 1 when I finally got to tell Din Djarin that he and Grogu were a clan of 2, because I felt like I mean, one of the things that I love about the relationship is that she very rarely tells him directly what to do. I think that one of the reasons she is such a wonderful teacher and mentor is that she's one of those teachers that sort of guides you up to a certain point and lets you find your way. She knows that he will learn something. He will learn a longer lasting lesson, as most of us do when we find the way ourselves, rather than if we're told, like, you have to do this. And so she sort of, I think, nudged him along the way and helped him see the choices he naturally wanted to make in regards to Grogu throughout season 1. Because we, as the viewers, could all see that he was connected to this little guy. I mean, we all were connected to this little guy. And so he made the decisions to go back for him and to protect him. But then it was just so satisfying in that scene at the end of the season when I finally got to say, all right, you're a clan of 2, you're in charge of him, don't mess up. It was kind of nice to be very direct. And that scene was also so satisfying because I got to reveal that this little guy was part Jedi. And just to say the word Jedi, which actually, if I remember correctly, was not in the original scene when we shot it. I think that when Dave and John originally wrote it, the language was crafted to be a little more vague. And then when we went back and we were doing an ADR session, which is additional dialogue recording, they said, I think we need to be more direct. We want you to say Jedi. And I just got chills. It was so exciting. So that for today, that's been my favorite scene. There's so many scenes in season 3 that I'm excited for you to see. So we'll have this conversation again after
Absolutely.
feels so far away. But at the moment, that's the one.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Donna?
Hi, Emily. How are
Hi.
you? So great to meet you last year. For the record, my favorite is when you take down the stormtroopers at the end of season 1. Love that scene. My question is Merry Christmas, by the way. And
Thank you.
I know you're probably prepping for the holidays in between your busy season. So my question is, how do you celebrate the holidays? Do you have a traditional way or a kind of out of the box kind of way, or you kind of wing it for the holidays?
Oh, wow. Well, I actually, right next to me here, I'm going to do I have a new way this year because I have an armor Christmas ornament that I'm hanging.
I
on.
saw
that's
that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Isn't that
That's
awesome? I'm going to do a little impromptu advertising here. It's a good thing I have this sitting right next to me, only because I'm so disorganized and there's this mess right over here with like all my convention stuff. And this is a wonderful designer that I found on Instagram. Art by Polly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think
There
I
you
follow
go.
him now.
Yeah.
So
Because
cool.
he's got some Bo-Katan and some Mandalorian,
Yeah.
I'm sure a whole lot of others. I mean, Christmas is a huge deal and always has been in my family. We've always gotten a tree and decorated it. I love getting gifts for family and friends, and then finding ways to give back in my community and
Totally.
with my church. My husband and I usually sponsor a family. And because our church co-partners with a women's health organization, and so we'll
That's
adopt
awesome.
a family that needs that can't afford to get gifts, and we'll get gifts for the kids, and we'll get supplies that they need. I like to do caroling because I
Oh,
grew up
wow.
singing and I love to sing, and so and my husband is a singer too. He's a better singer than I am because he is a bona fide Broadway performer. And we are singing in our church Christmas service on Sunday. which is also my birthday. My birthday is the week before Christmas.
Happy birthday.
birthday.
So my birthday and Christmas are always kind of like intertwined, for better or for worse.
Mine too, because mine's 2 weeks after.
Oh, well, see, you get it. It's sort of strange. It's wonderful and a mess having a birthday in the
Yeah.
middle of the holidays.
Yeah, everyone spends their money on Christmas, so I pretty much get nothing for my birthday.
Or you could just say it's all
All
together.
together.
And I never
Yep,
know
yep.
whether I should celebrate because everyone's so busy with holiday stuff as it is. I'm so busy with holiday stuff as it is. We're still trying to get our act together and get a Christmas picture with our dogs, but we have ridiculous sweaters for our dogs, so that is part of the tradition. But it's always been a time of family for me and community and just wanting to reach out and,
Awesome.
and celebrate the generosity of the season. I mean, it has been for me growing up, it was all about definitely about, I know that it can be so many different holiday traditions for different people. Some people don't even celebrate Christmas, but for me, it has been about Christmas specifically and about Christ's birth and growing up with all of those traditions. And we go to a Christmas Eve service and just try to kind of take time within the craziness of the gift giving is so joyful and fun
Yeah.
but also like taking time to pause within that and just connect to people in a simple way is also so sweet and so precious. So we try to not lose sight of that too.
That's awesome, especially with the business that you're in. That could be a little difficult.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Alicia, you're next.
Hi, Emily. It's nice to finally meet you.
You too.
Yeah, I mean, I've messaged you back and forth on Instagram a few times. I had some pretty cool edits that I sent to you, and but I've just never got to make it to a con yet. So hopefully soon I can do that.
Where are you? Where might I get to meet you?
I am in Texas. So maybe I think San Antonio, maybe Dallas might be coming up. Yeah, fingers crossed. I hope. Maybe once COVID chills out a little bit, we can all finally relax a little bit more. But now I have a question for you, another Christmas related question. So tell me, what is your favorite childhood memory of Christmas time?
Oh, wow. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is a ridiculous one. It's not necessarily a like, oh, what a happy, rosy memory of Christmas. But I remember one Christmas when so my parents used to wrap some of our presents and put them under the tree. And before Christmas, sorry, because of course the presents go under the tree, but like a while before Christmas. And I remember one year when I was sneaky when I was little. And I remember one year when I went and I unwrapped a couple of the presents that were under the tree. And I don't know what logic I was operating under, but I opened the presents and instead of then, seeing what they were and then putting the wrapping back on and putting them back, I just fully put them away in my room. Presents. And I don't know what I was planning on doing to explain how they got there.
How old were you?
I was like 5 or 6. Because this was when we lived in Northern Virginia until I was 7, because my dad was in the Army and he worked at the Pentagon. And I remember it was in that house. And I got a Snoopy brush a toothbrush. And I got this really cool, turquoise sweatsuit with a pink embroidered satin heart and a rainbow across it. And I just put them away in my room. And then my mom came across them and she was like, "Where'd you get this Snoopy brush a toothbrush?" And and when I was a kid, I would try to get away with a lot, but I did not have a good I mean, I think this was a good thing. I was not a good liar. And so I just said, I don't know. I don't know where they came from. And my mom, fortunately, was kind and patient and gracious. And she was like, okay, we don't do this. Don't be sneaky. Don't unwrap your Christmas presents. She did rewrap them and she let me open them again on Christmas morning, which was very, very kind of her. She didn't, it would have been totally appropriate for her to say, guess what? You're not getting these Christmas presents anymore, but she didn't. So that's a Christmas memory. I don't know if that would be like my favorite Christmas memory. I think one of my favorite Christmas memories was, because I would write notes to Santa Claus regularly every year, and Santa would write back. I don't know who might be watching this particular panel. I don't want to say too much about Santa Claus, but around the time when I had a certain understanding about, I knew a little bit more about who Santa was. I still wrote the notes because now that I knew a little bit more about Santa, we got to know each other a little better. It was even more special to write and to have a note written back. And my dream was to have, we lived in Florida at this point, and my dream was to have a turquoise beach cruiser. Turquoise is a running theme here. Because that was the color of that jogging suit too. With spatter paint on it, like a custom painted beach cruiser. This was the late 90s, so that was totally in. And I woke up Christmas morning and it was in the living room, and there was this really sweet note from Santa. And I had, written him a note the night before, and he'd eaten the cookies and he'd written back, and he just wrote like the sweetest note to go with the bike about how it was special to him that I still wrote him letters, even though he knew I might not need him as much anymore. And then it meant a lot to me it meant a lot to him that I took the time to do that. And it was just, it was that time of transition and having that extra understanding about Santa. And it just meant so much. And I got the spatter painted beach cruiser. So that was a particularly special Christmas morning.
That's awesome. I hope you saved some of those notes. That would be something to really hold on to.
Yeah, I think they are somewhere in my parents' house. There's a lot of stuff that's boxed up in my parents' house that just sort of is in closets that we haven't really touched in a while.
Find it someday.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Those are enjoyable. Thank you for that. And last but not least, Leo.
Hi, Emily. It's so nice to see you again. We first met in Kansas City Planet Comic Con.
Yes, that's
21.
right.
And then we saw each other again at Celebration this last year. So
Goodness,
the Armorer has
Celebration.
been quite an inspiration for myself and the other ladies on the call. And I know there's been a lot of people that you have touched with that character and with your personality when we see inside the mask. So thank you so very much for that. My question to you, also related to the holidays, is as we enter into that season, do you have any special recipes or treats or sweets that you look forward to, that may be a family recipe or something like that, that you save yourself for the holidays to enjoy?
Well, my mom and I used to bake trays and trays and trays of Christmas cookies together because we loved giving them to our neighbors and giving them to people at church, and baking with her was one of the ways, just that was one of the traditions that she shared with her mom and that she passed down to me. And we would love experimenting together and finding new recipes and finding that fine line between, because we liked something challenging and something interesting, but we didn't want something that was so tedious and so, those recipes were like, you have to time it out exactly or the whole thing totally falls apart. That was just miserable. I remember in particular, we had these little mouse cookies that we would make that were so much fun. And now this year, the challenge, because my husband has gotten really into not like full on keto baking, but trying to cut back on his sugar and cut back
Yeah.
on his white flour and all that stuff. And I absolutely love baking, and I love baking to people's specific tastes. So if someone gives me a flavor combination that they like, or some sort of ingredient combination, or something that they need to stay away from, or something that they really like, I love to try and accomplish it, because I love the chemistry of baking. I love the creativity of it. I love the combination of, it's a science, because it is a chemistry thing, but it is also, there's room for artistry in it. And I love the combination of the two. I used to, for a while, and I have a song that a friend wrote about it for me. For a while, I had this nighttime baking habit where when I couldn't sleep, I would get up and I would bake, and it became a problem. When you can't sleep, if you get up and you like paint for a few minutes, or you write for a few minutes, or you play music for a few minutes, that's fine. If you start baking, you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
And you're up for a while. And then if you start eating it, then you don't feel good. And so it became this whole thing. So for a while I had to like stop keeping baking ingredients in my house. But I have a song that came out of it. So who
That's
cares?
awesome.
But I'm meandering away from the specific question, which was what recipes do I like to get into? I feel like variations of peanut blossoms always make it into the mix. I love seeing what kinds of flavored chocolate chips like Nestle comes out with this time of year, and crafting cookies around those. And now Lily's, which is this brand that makes stevia sweetened chocolate chips, they've gotten in on the game, because now this year they've got like pumpkin spice flavored chips. They've got butterscotch flavored chips. They've got salted caramel flavored chips. They've got peppermint flavored chips. So my husband and I are probably going to be making some cookies with those. There was a cookie exchange at an event that I went to recently, and somebody had made some shortbread macadamia nut cookies. And I'm all about the shortbread lately. So I feel like I'm going to be baking some shortbread and finding variations on that. I would love to know from all of you what suggestions you have.
Well, we make a mint cookie, a sandwich cookie with a York peppermint patty on the inside.
Yes. Kind of
And our other go-to holiday cookie is a Rolo stuffed chocolate cookie with pecans and drizzle on top.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I actually like more cakes and cookies. And I like the combination of like citrus with a berry. So I like lemon and orange with blueberry, or lemon with raspberry. So those are my flavors.
Sounds good.
My grandmother had this banana nut bread recipe when I was growing up, and it has blossomed to the point where I make 30 or 40 of them at the holidays and hand them out, because everybody looks forward to them every year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I am just, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. My mother and I would always make Russian tea cookies together for the holidays. Yeah, that like almond extract. So good.
Nice.
Yeah, and I just don't cook. So I don't make anything.
That's fine.
I just buy them.
There's so many people that do cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like cookies
really
because
don't have to.
I love making cakes, and I actually really enjoy making cheesecakes.
Those are hard.
They are, but it's still satisfying to do it.
2 days.
Cookies are just so much more easily transportable when you're taking them to people. But when I go home, I'll attempt, like, I'll make a pie or something, or a cheesecake. Or my husband, he's half Norwegian, half Hispanic, which is an interesting combination. But on the Norwegian side of his family, his specialty dish around the holidays is Swedish oven pancakes.
Ooh,
Which even though it's called pancakes, it's really like a casserole that's just like butter and flour and sugar. It's kind of like a custard thing. So he's been doing different variations on that for Christmas morning every year. And you were talking about Naomi, you were talking about almond extract, and lately he's been putting some almond in there. And so that's like his daring
Secret.
new addition.
Good one.
Interesting. Well, we are nearing the end of the time that we have with you, and so I guess the final question that I have is: we know you're super busy, and is there anything that you're working on right now aside from season 3 stuff that we know is coming out? Is there anything else that you're working on right now that the viewers would be interested in hearing about that you can actually talk about?
One thing I can talk about, and you can see my face. I did an episode of SWAT that'll be airing, I think shortly after New Year's, on CBS. So that'll be coming up. And then there's stuff that I can't talk about. And then I'll be at conventions again throughout the year.
Wonderful.
I'm very excited about that, especially once season 3 starts airing, because there will be so much to talk about with that. Yeah. And that's all. Yeah. Yep.
Well, we're super excited to have spent the time with you and to have had the opportunity to do so, especially for such a great cause. This is the time of year, here we are sitting talking about food and baking and our favorite sweets, and there's just so many people around the world that don't have that privilege, don't have that opportunity. Too many of those are children. One of the big things in the 501st and the other, our sister and brother clubs and whatnot, that we focus on is children. And so this is, certainly a way to make a difference in somebody's life, whether you're donating to the World Central Kitchen. I think there's a link somewhere in this event that you can click on, or if you're just donating to a local food bank, it will make a difference in someone's life to help combat the hunger that they feel on a regular basis. So
thank you for that. And I just want to say, anyone in the 501st or Rebel Legion or Mando Mercs, whenever I'm at a convention where you are, please come find me. If you have a table there, I want to come meet all of you and take a picture with you. That's one of my favorite parts of the conventions. And I just have such deep respect for the work that you do and really appreciate you so much. So please don't hesitate to come say hi. And I would love to get to know you. And I thank you so much for all the work that all of you do.
Well, and a lot of what we do is because of what you all do. So, you bring the Star Wars into our homes, and we get the joy of being able to duplicate and send that out even further. So certainly a joint effort.
80 days till Mandalorian 3 and I got the day off.
And make sure you come over to my my Instagram, which is Biggie Swalls, BIGESWALLZ, because I am attempting to keep us all entertained until season 3 with some armorer fun.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice. And ladies that have an armorer costume, please make sure you reach out to me, because we are still trying to finish the CRL at the guild for the armorer so that we can have 501st approved as soon as we can.
Nice.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Whatever you
everyone,
need.
happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Don't forget, donate to the World Central Kitchen or your local food bank. And everyone have a safe holidays with your friends, your family, loved ones, so on and so forth.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.